TIFU by buying everyone an Ancestry DNA kit and ruining Christmas. Phew. Earlier this year, Ancestry DNA had a sale on their kit. I thought it would be a great gift idea, so I bought 6 of them for Christmas presents. Today my family got together to exchange presents for our Christmas Eve tradition, and I gave my mom, dad, brother, and 2 sisters each a kit. As soon as everyone opened their gift at the same time, my mom started freaking out. She told us how she didn't want us taking them because they had unsafe chemicals. We explained to her how there were actually no chemicals, but we could tell she was still flustered. Later, she started trying to convince us that only one of us kids need to take it since we will all have the same results, and to resell extra kits to save money. Fast forward, our parents have been fighting upstairs for the past hour, and we are downstairs trying to figure out who has a different dad. TLDR, I bought everyone in my family Ancestry DNA kit for Christmas. My mom started freaking. Now our parents are fighting and my dad might not be my dad. Update, thank you so much for all the love and support. My sisters, brother, and I have not yet decided if we are going to take the test. No matter what the results are, we will still love each other, and our parents, no matter what. Update 2, Christmas isn't ruined. My foo actually turned into a Christmas miracle. Turns out my sister's father passed away shortly after she was born. A good friend of my mom's was able to help her through the darkest time in her life, and they went on to fall in love and create the rest of our family. They never told us, because of how hard it was for my mom. Last night she was strong enough to share stories and photos with us for the first time, and it truly brought us even closer together as a family. This is a Christmas we will never forget. And yes, we are all excited to get our test results. Merry Christmas everyone. P.S. Sorry my mom isn't a whore. No, you're not my daddy. TIFU, by living in a dark bedroom for 6 years. S. The overhead fan in our bedroom uses one of those compact halogen light bulbs. 6 years ago the bulb burned out and got really dim, just barely aglow. I bought a replacement bulb, but when I put that one in it was also barely lighting up, so I realized the unit was bad. The fan still worked great, it literally is the best fan I've ever had because it moves a ton of air and is super quiet. The fan had also been a gift when we moved into our house. The unit cost over $400, so I didn't really want to replace it even though our bedroom doesn't get much natural light, so it is pretty dark. So since then, over the years, my wife and I have had to make do with no overhead light. We open the windows during the day, and at night use a combination of bedside lamps and the bathroom light. It's never really as good of lighting as an overhead lamp, so I keep some flashlights up there for when we are cleaning or looking for something, etc. After 6 years of living in the dark, this winter I just decided I would replace the damn thing. But before I did, I decided to try one last time with another bulb because, however unlikely, it's possible both bulbs I had tried were bad. So I'm up there installing the new bulb, grab the remote, the fan has a remote, and as I'm turning the light on I realize the goddamn thing is dimmable. For 6 fucking years we lived with the inconvenience of no overhead light, and the whole time it was just because the damn thing was set to dim. Fuck me. TLDR. For 6 years I lived with no bedroom light because the overhead lamp was broken, but turns out it was fine and it was just set to a dim setting the whole time. TIFU, by spending the last year on Reddit talking to myself after being muted. S. Today was the day I realized I messed up by not realizing sooner and just thinking my content was shit. For the last 12 months I've been commenting on people's posts. I've created my own posts. I haven't had a single upvote or reply to anything. My karma has been at 885 for as long as I can remember, so I just figured I wasn't very interesting, still likely true. Last month I started to try and see my own posts through guest accounts and figured out they weren't showing. I could still clearly see my comments and posts on my account. Anyway, I finally mailed the help team and found out my IP was accidentally mixed in with some action to take out spammers. If you can see this, it's all sorted now, and if you can't, I'm still in my own little Truman Show. If you're procrastinating, and let's face it, you are, feel free to go through my post history and verify the lack of any human engagement. TLDR, I was muted 1 year ago and didn't notice. Since then, I've spent the whole time thinking how boring I must be because nobody replies or updates me. Uneasy face. Edit, so I've gone from castaway to a full room of people handing me little arrows. Wilson and I thank you XX. Edit 2, this is crazy. Thanks to everyone for all the jewels and things I know nothing about. I'll figure it out and pay it forwards. Special thanks to those that are answering my unanswered questions from previous posts MVPs. Please don't be too sad about this, I find it kind of funny that I've been such an idiot for so long. It's okay to laugh with slash at me, smiley face. Edit 3, Reddit is awesome. I've missed you guys. Don't feel mad at the mods, it's a tough and thankless job and Flutter/bots are a real pitta. It's just one of those things, and I thank them for putting in the hours. I also want to use this very brief soapbox to raise awareness for mental health. Most of us here use Reddit as an escape, some people here have fewer friends IRL than they do on the net. Make sure each other are okay every once in a while, if someone goes missing, like for more than a month. If you see someone struggling, send them a message of support, even a stranger can help. I love all of you weirdos, love. Edit 4, no more I promise. I'm completely overwhelmed by the response and the nice feedback. I'm trying to answer all of the questions, but it's difficult to keep up. I created an /AMA when this thread went down. If you relate to any of the topics close to me like diabetes, gaming, mental health, parenting etc., then keep in touch. Hey Race, a shameless pic of me with the best doggo in the world, and authentication for mods, he listens to me even when you guys don't, winky face, https://imager.com/egcbe6w. Stop giving me gold. I appreciate it, but give to charity instead. Hey Ray, something different we could do, love, https://www.reddit.com/r/charity/comment/let's_do_something_for /let's_for different_for share and UTM_medium-e. TIFU, by owning a golden retriever while being black. L. Sigh. Work was rough today, and all I wanted to do afterward was to sit on the couch and let the TV watch me while eating food not cooked by my own hands. The answer to that? Delivery. Food ordered, I let the dog into the yard to burn some energy, and sat camped outside with him while waiting for the delivery. DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber, and everyone other than Jehovah's Witnesses has trouble locating my address, strictly relying on GPS, so it's nothing for me to post up and wait outside for when they are close, flag them down and go back inside for a contactless drop-off. Pertinent details before shit hits the fan. My neighbor and I share a fence with a doggy door as our pups are super close, and you can bet each time that if my dog is outside, hers will follow for cross-shared playtime. This was the case today, and probably bad judgment on my part to think that I would be able to break up the fun quickly. Both dogs were in the neighbor's yard at the time the notification came through that the driver was pulling up, and I had to call out a few times to get my dog's attention. Neighbor thankfully whistled for her dog, and I had to put on the voice for mine to acknowledge I existed, and then took off running for my door while waving to the driver, who by this point was getting out of the car. Pup and I have a game called Runaway, where I will take off yelling "Runaway," and literally he will chase after me like some human-sized fetch stick. I used this to my advantage until he realized I was putting him inside, but managed to get him through the storm door and close the screen before he could run out. Then realized that I'd left the gate locked like an idiot, with the driver standing right outside by this point. I didn't have a mask on at this point, and neither did she, so I yelled from the porch that she could leave the food by the mailbox, and that is where the fun started. "Is that your dog?" My bullshit meter didn't go off. I thought she was asking a question with an obvious answer, because duh, she was a dog person, so I engaged with dog owner gushiness. "Yes, blah, blah, blah. His name is XYZ. Wanna say hi? I'll be nice, because you brought my food." But she just stood there awkwardly for a moment, put the food down and quickly jumped back into her car. In my mind I was like, okay, weird, but whatever. Snatched the food and went back inside. Went to wash my hands, and from the kitchen window, I can see the full street where she is still parked outside. Thinking okay, weird, again, but didn't dwell on it too much, figuring that she was looking at the route to her next location. I went about my business of preparing to destroy my meal. Few minutes later, the dog begins barking manically at the door. I take a glance at the cameras and realize she is still out front, parked directly in front of my mailbox. Okay? What's going on here? I go outside and try to get her attention, but she is on the phone and doesn't notice me. I walk up like I'm going to check the mail, and she does pull off, but towards the back of the neighborhood that only has one way in and one way out. Lots of people make that mistake, and so you'll quickly see cars turning back around, but she never came back. By this time, I think I'm losing my mind, so I go back in, but still watching the street for the car to pass. It never does. I don't know, people are weird, so I just left it at that and went back to eat. About 10 minutes later, dog starts going ham at the door, so I check the cameras to see 2 police cars sitting outside my house. I continue to watch the cameras, realizing that the cops are getting out of the car and walking back and forth in front of mine and neighbors' yards. I go out to see if anything is wrong, and they introduce themselves before saying they were called because a stolen golden retriever was reported at my address and if there was a dog in the home. It clicked that driver had called the police and then explained my version of what happened. They were really respectful and apologetic, but asked if I could get Sir Pup. I went ahead and opened the door for the dog, who took off, ready to greet the new faces outside. His collar has tags matching the address with my name and phone number on it in case he was ever lost or stolen, which was proof enough for them, as it was obvious that they wanted to get this over as fast as possible. No hard feelings on either side. We were all walking away when driver's car slowly comes creeping from the back of the neighborhood. I yelled out to them that the lady was right there, and they positioned themselves in front of her car in a way she would have to stop and speak with them. I don't know if this lady was drunk or off her meds, but she rolled down the window and was literally sobbing hysterically that she saw me take the dog from the neighbor's yard, that animals get no justice, and the icing on the cake? My kind only owns pit bulls.